What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, but there hasn't been that much news, but still important topics to discuss. Firstly, Barcelona's new priority in the pivot position is Oriol Romeu after Fresneda sign Marcelo Brozovic. The new target is Romeu, where the club do hope to complete the signing this week. He is not the only signing the club want to complete this week. They also want to complete the signing of Arda Guler. There is a full agreement on personal terms according to reports with the player. All that is left is fine-tuning some of the details of the operation. Will he stay in Turkey for another year? The commission, the game time, all those little niggling details. And also for Vitor Roque as well, his signing is fully agreed. Transfer fee, personal terms, everything is done. Just about Barcelona giving that final green light. And along with that, of course, the club do want to sign a right back this summer, as Deco sees it as a priority, and they do have two top targets in this position in Fresneda and also Joao Cancelo. We do have an update on that. Also an update on Barcelona's inclusion in the Champions League, new offside rule, and of course Prime has now been officially announced as a new hydration drink for Barcelona, and we're going to talk about the numbers, how they've impacted Barcelona's younger community so far, and brought in new young fans to become culés as well. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes in this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, first, I'm going to give you guys a quick update on the signing of Marcelo Brozovic before we talk about his new target in the pivot position. Now, on Brozovic, Mr. Romano's come out saying that Marcelo Brozovic, the deal is now fully agreed, with the new fee being 18 million euros. The medical tests were already completed on Friday, and documents are being checked with the lawyers. And again, he will sign a 3-year deal and earn a salary of 100 million euros. Here we go, confirmed. Also, Di Marzio and Matteo Marito have confirmed this as well, that unless have submitted a new bid of around 18 million euros, and it has been accepted by Inter Milan. So they got a little discount, around 5 million euros from the initial fee that they presented, but again, having the players okay basically gives you the upper hand. I am shocked that Inter Milan folded this easily, and it sucks because I know for a fact the club could afford this. This would have been a good price for the club to go one-on-one with. But as we all know, Barcelona does not really enter bidding wars, so to speak, especially when they're offering a player 30 million net salary a year plus the 10 million euro sign-on bonus. You can't compete with that financially. And also Brozovic, he kind of finessed us. He gave us a 7-day deadline. On the first 24 hours, he went and accepted the deal, so nothing we can really do there. But in the end, Barcelona missed out on their plan C for the pivot position in Marcelo Brozovic. The question now is, who is plan D? And the plan D in the pivot position is Oriol Romeu. Of course, plan A was Zubimendi, plan B was Kimmich, plan C was Brozovic, and now Oriol Romeu. It sucks. It's unbelievable that our number one target for this summer, apart from Messi, which of course we know what happened with that, was the pivot, and we're now down to plan D. That's absolutely crazy. Anyways, it looks like plan D will be going smoothly. Joao came out saying that between Monday and Tuesday of this week, of course, Oriol Romeu's operation will enter a more advanced stage. Xavi has told Barca that Oriol Romeu has to be the player to reinforce the pivot position as soon as possible. Juan Martínez come out saying that Oriol Romeu is a real option, but he's not yet decided if Barcelona will go for him. Romeu does not generate total consensus at the club. Alternatives are also being tracked. He could end up being the chosen one if they don't get a better option. The coach believes that Romeu would add a lot and would bring immediate performances. There are people at Barcelona who believe that it'd be better to bet on Nico or play with a more versatile player like Frankie de Jong, Gundogan, Pedri, or even Andreas Christensen. That has been talked about a lot in the media as well. Some prefer to wait to see how the market progresses in the case there are exits before going for Romeu. Romeu is excited to join Barcelona. His exit clause is more than 60 million euros at Girona. And Girona, of course, don't want to do anything with Barcelona, and they want to keep the player. Also, there is interest there from Girona in Stanies, a B team player, but Girona don't want to mix deals. They only refer to the clause for Oriol Romeu. So again, if you want to sign Oriol Romeu this summer, we have to activate his release clause. I've heard 5 million, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know what number it is, but nonetheless, less than 10, and we have to activate it to sign him. The next week, of course, this week coming up will be key since Barcelona have to decide in this regard. Like Barcelona, Girona also begin their preseason on July the 10th. It is rumored that Xavi does want this signing to be done before that date. Fresneda from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona want to activate the operation to sign Oriol Romeu at the beginning of this week, and the player already knows this. Xavi's in a hurry to sign a pivot as preseason starts on the 10th, and welcomes the option of Romeu due to the FFP situation. Some at the club want to wait a while and see if there are exits and find a better option. Girona, of course, don't want to negotiate and want to enter and want his entire release clause to be paid in full at the exact time. Now, also there are reports coming in from the Girona media saying that Girona can expect a call from Barcelona starting from tomorrow, or today, shall we say. Xavi has already spoke with Oriol Romeu and wants the sign to be completed at some point this week. So we are going to push for Romeu this week. We'll wait and see how that turns out. I kind of agree with some of the board members who are saying let's wait and see what happens. But again, when the coach is telling you he wants his player in the next 10 days, he's the only option out there with the money available. I get it. And also, I'm kind of underrated Oriol Romeu a bit. Look, I've always said on the channel he's a great player. If he was a bit younger, I'd go for him. He's only 1 year older than Brozovic. I thought he was 34, 35. He's actually only 31. So you know what? Coming in for a year, I get it. I mean, I would much rather anyone else, honestly. But if Xavi doesn't trust Nico and Xavi doesn't want to play Frankie de Jong, Gundogan there on a consistent basis, Christensen, he's a bit of a question mark as well. You have Eric Garcia, so you have players who can come in, but you still need someone who's natural. What we have been saying about the right back position? Yes, we could play Koundé there, Araujo, Roberto, whatever the case may be, but you need someone natural in every position because the natural is the best. You may play Gundogan the pivot against Real Madrid because you want a more fast pace or whatever the case may be, but you need someone natural, and that's why the option for Oriol Romeu is there. Looks like Barcelona will push for him this week. We'll wait and see if we do end up signing him. Although with a lot of the board members wanting to see how the market turns out and see who Barcelona sell, this could be postponed if we do end up persuading Xavi to get the CDM that he wants after preseason. There also were some reports that Girona are not too happy with Xavi, who's calling a player who's under contract, but it happens all the time. So it's always the little clubs who are annoyed about this, but Girona always the nice neighbor, so not really too fussed about it. So we'll wait and see what happens. Again, it looks like now Barcelona are going to go all in for Oriol Romeu this week. Xavi wants him before next week, of course. The release clause will have to be paid in full, and once they agree personal terms, all they have to do is just get him that money and activate the release clause, and Oriol Romeu will be a Barcelona player. So wait and see how things turn out. But Romeu is right now the big favorite to be Barcelona's new pivot for the upcoming season. Now, another midfielder who is also on the verge of joining Barcelona this summer is Arda Guler. Him, Oriol Romeu, and also you could say even Vitor Roque, all their operations are in the advanced stages. And of course, the big news over the past 48 hours has all been about Arda Guler. We're going to go through all the news, of course, and I'll give you guys my opinion and my analysis. First, Joao came out saying that Barcelona believe that Arda Guler would be able to join the club this summer and not next year. There are very positive sensations in that regard. Fresneda from Deportivo came out saying that if Arda Guler accepts the conditions offered by Barcelona next week, of course this week, Barcelona and Fenerbahce could already seal the agreement. Deco met with Ali, the president of Fenerbahce, Guler himself and his parents. Barcelona agreed with Fenerbahce to pay part of his €7.5 million release clause now and then leave him on loan in Turkey for 1 year. Guler prefers to take the big leap in his career and join Barcelona this summer, but for this to happen, we would have to have some important sales first. Deco also explained Barca's project to the player and his family. Guler prefers a move now, but could consider staying in Turkey for the year. Deco is taking the signing of Guler as a personal challenge, and Barcelona are ahead in the race. So again, looks like it will be buying him this summer and then 1 season on loan at Fenerbahce. Shortly after this, Joao came out again saying that Deco has closed an agreement in principle with Arda Guler. I believe this is on a personal term basis. I don't know. You can't really agree a fee with Fernandes because he has a release clause. So he's saying that personal terms are agreed between Barcelona and Arda Guler. Also, reports from Turkey came out saying that Arda Guler had a private meeting with Deco with the permission of Fenerbahce's president. In the meeting, which was also attended by Arda Guler's close circle, the young star informed Deco that he is keen on the Catalan team's offer. Also, reports coming in from Calcio Mercato in Italy saying that Barcelona are very close to completing the signing of Arda Guler for his 17 million release clause plus 17 million euros in commission. In fact, the club wants him to join this summer. Now, the commission fee, I've heard 17, I've heard 20, I've also heard 10 as well, but what's well known at the moment is that there's going to be some commission with this deal, which in retrospect is pretty understandable. But when you're spending this kind of money on a young talent, when we do need a pivot, we do need a right back as well, questions are going to be raised for sure. Mateo Morito from Olivo came out saying that Barcelona are advancing for the signing of Arda Guler and want to close it as soon as possible. Deco's trip to Istanbul has a less significant process. The possibility of him staying on loan at Fenerbahce until 2024 is gaining strength as well. His release cost is around 17.5 million euros, and it will involve some high commission as well. Real Madrid are also tentative, but they have not made any move for the moment. So again, we're hearing a lot of reports as well that Real Madrid are still in the race, but they've not had any meetings, nor had they talked to Arda Guler or even Fenerbahce as well. The reports of Madrid like they want to send him to the Castile team, so their B team, which makes no sense because he's already way above that level. Also, more reports coming in from Turkey saying that Barcelona have offered Arda Guler a contract with a 20-match guaranteed matching his current salary. The transfer fee would be around 25 million euros, including transfer fees, and not transfer fee, including commission paid into installments. However, the player will stay for one more year for Fenerbahce and continue his development. Keep in mind also, remember last summer when we paid 45 million for Robert Lewandowski, I think we paid around 5-7 million euros for commission for Fini Zahavi, his agent, because he was the intermediate between Barcelona and Bayern Munich. The commission was paid in installments, so we could also do this one as well for his Arda Guler's father and his family. We can pay the commission in installments as well. Now, Roger Telero and Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo have come out saying that Barcelona expects to close the signing of Arda Guler this week. The club trusts that he will end up agreeing on Barcelona's offer to stay for Fenerbahce for 1 year, despite the interest from other clubs, including Real Madrid. It is not ruled out that Guler arrives now if there are enough sales this summer. In Turkey, they say that Fenerbahce also wants 20% of his rights for a future sale, and Barcelona to pay his training rates for the next season if he stays in Turkey. So again, still final tune details needed to be sorted out, but I think what's quite evident at the moment is that personal terms with the player is agreed whether he'll stay in Fenerbahce for a year or come to Barcelona. Remains to be somewhat, I would say, at a 50-50. Now, also in that same report, both the journalists came out saying that saving the distance, obviously, the Barcelona coaches see things in Arda Guler, which they saw in young Messi, speed, 1v1 dribbling, goals, etc. Moreover, both are left-footed and drift inside from the right or play near the box as a midfielder. So I'm not comparing the two players, but there are some sort of similarities during their younger ventures. Now, finally, we do have some more quotes coming in from Joan Laporta. As you all know, a few days ago, he spoke to TV3 about the entirety of Barcelona, mentioned Arda Guler, that Deco travel, that there is an agreement in place. He also spoke to Mundo Deportivo yesterday while he was at an event in Barcelona. He came out saying that he's a very young Turkish player. It is true that the scouting department had been following him for a long time now, and all the important clubs in Europe want him, and we are talking with Fenerbahce. So again, confirmed there that talks are going on, and this signing is very much well on track. This upcoming week is going to be big for Barcelona in terms of signings, because of course the following week we do start preseason, so the club want to get a lot of the deals done this week, and probably for the next month or so they're going to be focusing on sales. There are some reports that Lenglet might get his contract terminated, similar to Samuel Umtiti. We'll wait and see on that, but nonetheless, Arda Guler's transfer is getting closer and closer. Again, a fantastic player at his age as well, just absolutely stalking that midfield for the future. It is on lock. You got Pedri, Gavi, De Jong, and now Arda Guler. I would prefer that he join now. Again, I think that having that integrated season at Barcelona is very important to the city, to the club, the facilities, the language, and then the following season after that, you hit the ground running. And I understand why the club wanted to stay now, because right now there's no really quite, room in the midfield, because you saw Baldatore last season didn't get any game time, and also to the fact that he will grow much more in Turkey now than he will in Barcelona now. But I personally think the adaptation period is very, very crucial for any player who's joining Barcelona who is, in their absolute peak prime. So wait and see how things develop this week. But again, this could be one of the biggest signings for Barcelona this summer, and you could say even for the past few years, if he turns to be what he's supposed to be, which is going to be an absolutely world-class midfielder. Again, one of the top talents in the world, one of the gems of the future, could be joining Barcelona very soon. Now, another player alongside Arda Guler who Deco has been pushing heavily for Barcelona to sign is the right back Ivan Fresneda. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo has come out saying that Ivan Fresneda will wait for the offer from Barcelona, despite some clubs wanting to play his release clause right now. He is attracted by the move to Barcelona, and Barcelona maintain that they want to get him for half of his release clause of 20 million euros and add some variables to it. So the club want to bid around 10 million, then maybe include 5 million euros, maybe even another 10 million euros in add-ons. Now, Mateo Morito is reporting that AC Milan are back in the race for Ivan Fresneda and are even close to finding an agreement with his agent. Now, if he waits, he'll join Barcelona. I have no doubts about that. It's whether or not he wants to wait. You saw, Gundogan, he waited. He joined Christensen, Koundé, Rafinha, Lewandowski. But then you look at people like Brozovic, who didn't want to wait and left. That's their own decision, but we'll wait and see. But there is, of course, that main target who Xavi has been betting on the right back position for a very, very long time, and that is, of course, Joao Cancelo. Franco Sport is reporting that Joao Cancelo's arrival is not completely ruled out quite yet, but it is complicated. City want to sell him, but Barcelona want a loan with a buy option. He must also reduce his salary of 8 million euros net per year. Deco believes that the right back position must be strengthened. Deco is my man, he's just reading the situation as we see it. Now, keep in mind, whoever's going to be coming in at right back is most likely going to be the undisputed starter. So if I'm Ivan Fresneda, I'm looking at the situation like this. I'm a young, upcoming Spanish right back. Maybe me and Arnaud Martinez are like the top two young Spanish right backs. You could say Carvajal and Jesus Navas are better than us right now. The best club in Spain want me, and I'm going to walk in there as a starting right back. Because we all know Koundé ain't playing there. We all know Julian Araujo ain't ready. So he's walking in as a starter. Spanish as well, can speak the language, all that stuff. So, and there's no real integration process needed for him. If you look at Joao Cancelo, he comes in straight away as well. But there's more longevity in Fresneda because he'll sign. We'll pay 20 million euros for him. He'll come in 5-year deal. This will be a loan with a buy option. The buy option will probably be, I think, around 50 million if we do get a loan. But we do definitely have to pay a loan fee as well. No longevity in Cancelo. If we were already an established made team, we were going for the Champions League, I'd go for Cancelo, but we're still building a bit. Again, the Champions League is a big goal for us this season, but let's be honest, I think it'll be very difficult for Barcelona to win it. If we win it, then fair enough, I'll celebrate it and cry like no belief. So we'll wait and see what happens in the right back position. Hell, we could even get both. You never know. If they're open to a loan, I don't see why we don't get him Cancelo on loan. Fresneda on a deal, then you can loan out Julian Araujo, get him some playing time. We heard there's reports that Julian Araujo is attracting interest from Feyenoord. So that could be an option as well. So we'll wait and see how things turn out in the right back position. I think right now the club want to start Arda Guler and then a pivot first and then go for a right back. What's clear is that Deco wants to sign a new right back this summer with Cancelo and Ivan Fresneda, the top two targets. Now, a player who Barcelona already have a full agreement with both on the club and player side is for Vitor Roque. We're just waiting for the green light from Barcelona to proceed with the final paperwork. Of course, Vitor Roque, number 9, he'll be coming in the striker position to provide coverage and competition for Lewandowski this season. Same with Arda Guler, there is a question mark for Vitor Roque whether he'll join now or even next summer, maybe even in January. The Mirror is reporting that everything indicates that the signing of Vitor Roque will be either in January 2024 or in the summer due to financial fair play. But of course, if the club can get their sales right, I see no worries in registering him whatsoever. And also, there has been a debate going on if you could only register one this summer. Who would you register, Vitor Roque or Arda Guler? 100% for me, Vitor Roque. We need him way more than Arda Guler. The fact that Arda Guler can already go back on loan says it enough. Of course, I'd bring both in if I could. If I could pick one though, it is Vitor Roque. And finally, Roger Tolero from Deportivo has come out saying that all that is left for the Vitor Roque transfer to Barcelona to be completed is Barcelona sending the final documents to Atletico Panieres. Movements are expected to go through this week. There is a complete agreement between the two clubs and with the player as well. Manchester United, PSG, and Tottenham have contacted Vitor Roque's entourage in recent days, but he has been cleared that he wants to succeed and join Barcelona. Barcelona's intention is to sign him now, but FFP does not allow it. He will stay on loan in Brazil until January. So again, it's either going to be now or in January. I doubt we'll wait till the summer like Jonathan Miro said. I think the January option is definitely alive and on the table. If it does go back on loan, I do hope the price or some of the terms do be adjusted. Again, 35 million euro fee, 10 million add-ons is what's fully agreed. Of course, player salary would be around 2 or 3 million euros net per year. Deal is done. Negotiations are done. All Barcelona have to do now, send the final paperwork. Again, Vitor Roque in recent days has been on fire in the Brazilian league, scoring I think 5 goals in his last 6 games. So he's a player that we need right now. I think getting him in, especially for preseason, is absolutely pivotal. Lewandowski's got an extended holiday because he was on international break. He could play the first few games in LA against, I believe, Juventus and Real Madrid are our first games. I think Arsenal and AC Milan are last. So getting in those games is important. Getting adjusted to the system, the style of play, the language as well, and then La Liga. We can rest Lewandowski a lot because, again, he's a player who needs rotation at this point in his career. He cannot be playing week in, week out. So signing Vitor Roque for me is absolutely crucial, and it is our number 1 target in the position. We signed Gundogan was the number 1 target, Inigo Martinez, Vitor Roque, and then Fresneda and Oriol Romeu are kind of, plan B and plan D respectively options. So signing a plan A, it always feels good, and again, just the final green light from Barcelona is waiting for the signing of Vitor Roque. Let's now discuss some of the news surrounding Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Again, no real concrete reports on any sales, but we move into some general news. Firstly, is about Barcelona's inclusion in the Champions League. Roger from Mundo Deportivo is reporting that UEFA have officially informed Barcelona today that the club will participate in the Champions League for next season. Ramon Fuentes from Mundo Deportivo also came out saying that 2 UEFA investigators have concluded that there is no evidence to show that Barcelona tried to buy any referees. They prefer to wait until the final ruling from the court's judiciary, and also Barcelona answered all the 70 questions they asked by UEFA. So again, we reported a few months ago that UEFA have asked 70 questions of Barcelona they want the answer for ASAP. Barcelona answered all those questions with no problems. Now, in the event that Laporta talked about Arda Guler, he was also asked about the inclusion of the Champions League. So look, we are satisfied because the UEFA investigators have seen no reason to leave us out of the competition. So again, we're covering the report from Ramon and Roger as well. So Barcelona, it was never any worry from the beginning, but it's now officially confirmed we are going to be playing in next season's Champions League. Now, speaking about the Champions League, there could be a new rule or rule adjustment introduced in the Champions League this season, and that is the new offside rule. There are reports coming in saying that FIFA have approved the new offside rule. Netherlands, Sweden, and Italy's leagues, of course, will be the first countries to implement the rule. It'll be very interesting to see how it goes down in Serie A. Previously, if a player was ahead of his opponent by even an inch, it would have counted offside. However, now the whole body of the player must be in front of it to be offside. For example, the picture below will not be an offside now. So, of course, you see the red line, you see how his body is kind of leaning towards it, that would be offside. But now the entire body has to be past the final defender. In my opinion, this is, not really adjusting it. It's just kind of delaying the inevitable. It's not really, stopping cherry picking or stopping attackers from staying in the final third and staying there waiting for the ball to be thrown over top. I think all it does just delays it. So for me, it doesn't really impact me personally, but I think in the general rule of football, this is a bad change because it doesn't really change anything. You're just giving them an extra couple inches or so, whether your body is leaning, you're staying flat-footed, you have a trailing arm, trailing shoulder. Like if the body is fully up, what happens if you have like a trailing calf or so? It can be the deciding factor if you're going to be onside or not, similar to what we already have right now. So all it does is just push the rules 2 or 3 inches. Doesn't really make that big of a difference in my opinion. But we'll wait and see how it gets implemented. Of course, similar to VAR, goal line technology, you have to see it being implemented to see how it goes. So we'll wait and see how things change with the offside rules. But there's going to be a new adjustment to that could change the entirety of the way we watch football. Now, the final topic that I want to discuss before I end off this video is discuss Barcelona's new hydration drink in Prime. The club officially announced, I believe 2 nights ago, that they were parting ways and not renewing their contract with Gatorade. And the next morning, they announced that they will be partnering with Prime, of course, a drink of KSI and Logan Paul. It's still crazy to see that, KSI is he's a YouTuber who I've been watching since FIFA 13 days. It's crazy to see that, he's sponsoring Barcelona. The fee of the sponsor, by the way, has never been leaked. I'm very, very interested to see how much Logan Paul and KSI did pay to be the official drink sponsors for Barcelona. Nonetheless, been confirmed they did their promotion stuff so funny and all fun and games and things like this, but we're into the numbers, of course. And Mundo Deportivo are reporting that Barcelona's sponsorship agreement with Prime has created a massive impact on social media already, taking advantage of the media pull of the company's founders in Logan Paul and KSI. Millions have viewed and liked their posts so far, and Barcelona's objective is to increase the fan base among youngsters further, and is showing good signs so far. So again, the plan is to increase the younger fan base. Of course, Prime is only sponsoring Arsenal. I believe that's the only team they sponsor. They're not doing, they've not done well the past few years. They got second now. They're not really winners, where Barcelona are. They're also, sponsoring, I think, WWE, UFC. They're all over the place now. It's crazy to see what they've done in just, a little bit of a year or so. To be fair, Prime does taste good, so I'm absolutely all for it. It'll be interesting to see how the designs are on the pitch, the bench, the water bottles that the players drink from. It's all going to be Prime bottles and Prime logos and stuff like that. So we'll see how that is integrated, but so far their impact on social media and gaining, fan bases among the youngster community has been doing exceptionally well so far. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and of course leave your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing firstly, of course, is your thoughts on Oriol Romeu now being the main target in the pivot position. Secondly, on Arda Guler's transfer, what are your thoughts on it, the commission-wise, fee-wise, and you rather he join this summer or next summer? And same question for Vitor Roque, would you rather him join this summer or in January? Third, your thoughts on the reinforcement in the right back position. Would you rather go for Cancelo, Fresneda, maybe both? And find your thoughts on Barcelona signing with the sponsorship of Prime for the hydration drink. And was that a risky move? And would you have done it or not? And of course, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.